increase our humbleness and go up in our spiritual life. So this is explained by His Holiness Radhanath Swami from his daily lecture of the group. So I welcome all the devotees on the early morning call today. May I know who's in the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna to all the devotees. This is Surendra Bhandari from Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Surendra Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna to all the devotees on this call. This is Geeta from Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and both of your wonderful chanting.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Malini from Ashburn, Virginia, and Hare Krishna to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Malini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining. Anybody else would like to announce their name?
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. This is Aarti Sardesai from Elkhart City, Melbourne.
Hare Krishna, Arati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining. So, let me check if we can have today's speaker. No, Prabhuji didn't join yet. So, I need to log off this call and I will join again. I will call him.
Everybody is there. I'm just.
Yes. Hare Krishna, we are so fortunate to have His Grace Neela Govinda Prabhu from Memphis, Tennessee. And Prabhuji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, verse number 36 and onwards. So, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, welcome to the call. If you are ready, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Nilgonda Prabhu, are you there? You are on mute, Prabhuji. And also your camera is off too.
Hare Krishna, you can hear me okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you now. And we can see you too. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. We'll continue the discussion.
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We'll read through shloka number 39, 36. 36, right, Mataji? That's what I said, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Thank you. Papam evashrayedasman atvaitan atatainah tasman narhavayam hantum dartarastran sabandhavan swajanam hi katam hatva sukina shamamādavaha. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the son of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? I'll read the translation again. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O husband of goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? Purport. According to Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. 1. Poison giver. 2. One who sets fire to the house. 3. One who attacks with deadly weapons. 4. One who plunders riches. 5. One who occupies another's land. 6. One who kidnaps a wife. Wife means someone else's wife. So, such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of the state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Rama, Rama Rajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravana was an aggressor against Rama because Ravana kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita. But Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than killing his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on the grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and the pleasures derived therefore are not permanent. So, why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen? Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or husband of goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. He wanted to point out Krishna that as a husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. Hare Krishna. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। One second. Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Grateful for the opportunity to discuss the science of Krishna consciousness for the pleasure of the spiritual master, the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, and for the pleasure of the Lord and all the devotees who joined. Now, I was trying to think, here Arjuna is conveying to Krishna that, my dear Lord, this is not right. He's telling Krishna that the moment I slain these aggressors, lot of sin will incur unto me. He says, Krishna, let us stop this. Let us not do this. Let us not kill these people. Don't want to do this. He says, you don't want to do this. Why? Because Arjuna is convinced in his heart, and he's also speaking from the scriptures only. Is he not speaking from the scriptures? Scriptures only. So through that, what is he telling? No, my dear Lord, we shouldn't do this. I don't want property. Does anyone know here how many people were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Any guess? Who would like to tell? Anyone know? Give some number. Nobody knows? Yes,
Maybe
Surendra.
20 million, maybe 20 million. Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? $64 crore people died. How many? 64. It's a big number. Within 18 days, 64 crore When COVID came, how many people died? Any idea? Anyone knows? Might be 1 crore. Might be. I don't know. Is it a true statement? Does anyone know? How many people died in COVID? It's very connecting to what I'm asking now.
Prabhuji, maybe about 3 million.
Oh, really? Just 21 million. 21 million people died, dear devotees. $21 million is roughly how many crores? 2.1 crore. How many people died in 18 days? 64 crores. It's like 2 crore people died over a span of 2 years through COVID. 2.1. 2.1 crore. And 64 crore people died in 18 days. Just 18 days, dear devotees. It's not like 1,000 days or 18 days. Can we imagine? We cannot imagine actually. And then that killing Arjuna wanted to stop. That killing Arjuna wanted to stop. Is it not logical or is it illogical what Arjuna is speaking? It's logical. It's very logical. There's no doubt about it. Whatever Arjuna is speaking is wonderful actually. But that is not pleasing Krishna. So why is that not pleasing Krishna? That is another discussion. Because if we closely observe, Krishna he's never against dharma. No, we cannot proclaim to ourselves and then state that, oh Krishna, this is all against dharma, and it's killing of 64 crore people is not good. Kind of see that. And that too within a short period of time. And then what's going to happen to the society? What's going to happen to the people? Where they would go? What will happen to them? What will happen to these people? Or so many. There's so many nuances behind it. And Arjuna presents all those nuances also. He says, if I kill all these people, then who will take care of this? Who will take care of their family? Is that not a big discussion? Yes, it is. That's why Arjuna is presenting those things. Just imagine 2 crore, 2.1 crore people died. That means when 2.1 crore people died, means how many people were affected or impacted? At least 10 million. Why? Because their family members are also there. They're impacted. That means when 64 crore people died, how many people are impacted? Unimaginable. All of those people are impacted. That means when Krishna is present, they are all sad and morose. A lot of people. Now, how one should take that? Now, in which way we should see the instructions of what Arjuna is trying to express here. Arjuna is telling, no. I will not kill these people because these people are they have committed even though they have committed sinful activities. I don't want this property or this land. because that's not good. Because that's killing is not good. Now here it seems like that Arjuna is on the right side and then Krishna is on the wrong side. Seems like that. It actually seems like that. Just like in this material world, enjoying this world or trying to remain in a particular state or trying to be happy in this world, it seems to be correct only. Gratifying the senses, it seems to be everything that seems to be correct only. Having illicit relations, that seems to be good in this world. But that is not. Now, who has to tell that that is not? That is another question. Who has to tell that that is incorrect? Here, Arjuna, Krishna was there. Krishna is telling Arjuna that this what you're thinking is right, is wrong, Arjuna. Because what are you're taking the side of those people. If you give up this property, if you give up this fight, then they'll become the kings. You know what happens when they become the king again? You're not seeing the future. You're just seeing the mere presence because your heart is very soft. And then you're impacted through that. Now, Krishna is not telling those things, but that is the nature. Arjuna is impacted through that state. Arjuna has been kept in that state because he's forgetting his dharma. What is our dharma? Every day, hearing and chanting. That is our process is that. Shravana Kirtan. Every day chant Hare Krishna, chant 16. That is our dharma. Do our service. That is our dharma. That is the real thing. Nothing else actually. The so-called dharma of this world will not really protect us actually. That's what we are thinking, right? In the material world, this will protect me, that will protect me. No, they will not protect us. When there is a problem in our life, that problem has to be addressed. The moment we address the problem might be solved or we might get another problem. If we get another problem, then we need to address that also. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, can you just give me one moment? I'll be right back. 1 second. Hare Krishna. Devotees, you can hear me okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So,
Yes, Prabhu.
the problem has to be addressed. And the Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport about Ravana abducting Mother Sita. That's a problem. And then Lord gives him so many opportunities to correct that. But he was not in a position to accept those things. He was not trying to correct himself. At the last moment also, Lord Rama gave him an opportunity to correct. Even at that moment also he did not correct himself. Likewise, dear devotees, Lord, through the difficulties, devotees at times devotees also go through difficulties. Through these difficulties, devotees, they come out great in flying colors. Why? They are devoted to the Lord. They do not have any other business because they know it is actually coming by the Lord only. It is actually coming through His mercy. So, when we see that, then we feel sheltered. But here Arjuna, he is giving his opinion. If you actually see, in his opinion, there is no presence of the Lord. That means he is not abiding to what Lord wants him to do. In the sense, he knows that yes, he is supposed to fight. Krishna inspired him only to fight. But now he's been kept in a situation. It's a difficult situation because he has to kill his family members. Not just those 64 crore people, in those 64 crore people, his family members are also there. Now, for that, he is feeling so much inspired because he took his grandfather Bhishmadev, gave him so much actually. Through that gratitude, he doesn't want to kill them. Doesn't. So that is his expression, he's expressing to the Lord. But my dear Lord, I cannot do this. Seneyor ubeyor madhye rajam sthapitam achyuta. The same Krishna who took him into the center of the battlefield, as per the words of Arjuna. That means Krishna is actually listening to Arjuna and then he's taking him wherever he wants before the battle begins. And then he took Arjuna to the right place where Arjuna's attachments are shown, are opened up. Because Krishna has to address first that, then he gives service. Likewise, when the Lord, by the mercy of the spiritual master, gives the service, before giving service, what he does? He removes the attachments. He removes the anarthas from the heart. Because unless and until the anarthas are removed, the service is not given. Now you might say, we are doing services. Excuse me, dear devotees. Now we might say that we are doing services, but we need to see that those services which are given to us is actually to purify us. There's two kinds of services. One service comes after purification. One service comes for purification. The service which is coming through the purification is actually very helpful for us because we can see that we are progressing in the science of devotional service, the science of Krishna consciousness. That is a progress. And then the service which we do after removing the attachment, which is what Arjuna's situation is right now. because Krishna wants to remove those things. So due to that reason, Krishna is putting Arjuna in that situation. So dear devotees, in our life, if you are getting a difficult situation or we have been kept in a situation or a circumstance, we need to understand that this is actually an arrangement of the Lord. It is through His mercy. It is through His selfless love. It is through His relationship. He wants to bring us out of that state of consciousness, become free from those attachments and aversions. That is what the Lord is trying to do. He's helping Arjuna. Because He's helping every living entity in this world. Now He sends His pure devotees for that, and then through that association. This is dear devotees. What kind of writing is this? Prabhupada has written, what is it? Beautiful. Right? And then Prabhupada is mentioning about 6 kinds of aggressors. What is the first aggressor? One who gives poison. What is the second one? One who sets fire to the house. What is the third one? One who attacks with the deadly weapons. What is the fourth one? One who plunders riches. Fifth, one who occupies another's land. Sixth, one who kidnaps another's wife. And the Prabhupada says that such aggressors are to be killed at once. And no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Actually, by killing those people, it is not incurring sin. To the point what Arjuna is mentioning. If I kill these people, sin will incur. But these kind of 6 propensities, 6 kinds of aggressors who gives poison, who sets fire to the house. Pandava's house was set on fire by Duryodhana and the party. Duryodhana also gave poison to Bhima, right? One who attacks with deadly weapons. They have attacked Pandavas in so many ways through deadly weapons. And they have removed their entire dynasty and properties. They plundered all the riches. And then they occupied their land. Didn't they occupy their land? Yes, they occupied their land. One who kidnaps one's wife, right? The example of Ravana, kidnapping Mother Sita. Duryodhana and the Kauravas, they took over the land of Pandavas. They did not give any kingdom. Everything was topsy-turvy. Everything is taken away from them. Just imagine the devotees. Pandavas were being, to see the attitude of Arjuna is very inspiring actually. They have done so many problems. They have committed so many difficulties. They gave them so much difficulties. They sent them to forest. His wife was almost about to be naked. Arjuna was there. He couldn't do anything. He is a Kshatriya. His blood is furious. And that person is telling him, I don't want to fight. What is this? Kidhar se aaye? From where he came? See the attitude. He doesn't want to fight. He want to give it up. He's not thinking, Arjuna is not thinking that, all these people have done sinful activities. They're very sinful to us. He's not remembering those things. He just said, no, I don't want to incur. I don't want to engage in this sinful or heinous act. Arjuna says heinous act. They are aggressors. I don't want to kill them. Because if I kill them, then those things will come to me. But here Prabhupada says, no. If one kills those people, it's not heinous act. It's actually good. Just like soldiers killing, Indian soldiers, and there is an attack from Pakistan. You know what they do? They attack, counter-attack. That's what happened, right, recently. They counter-attacked, and then there was a peace agreement after that. So that's not a sinful activity. They are devotees. A person killing, the soldier killing, another person, another soldier. That's not a sinful activity. That's protection of country. They are protecting the country. They will go to heaven for that. It's a great thing which they have done. All those soldiers. It's not devotion, but they go to heavenly planet because what are they doing? They're doing a good thing to the society. Pious. It's a punya. It's a good thing, good cause. They're doing it for good cause. For that, they go to heaven. But here, what they did? They killed. Still, they are going to heaven. How is that? Because that's a good act. Because they're protecting the country. So likewise, Arjuna should protect the country by killing these people. But Arjuna doesn't want to do that. Please understand, dear devotees. Arjuna doesn't want to do that. It's important. So if we closely observe this, dear devotees, the action and the activities, they go together. The thought and an activity. Action comes through what? How the action will come? Through the thought. So Krishna is trying to address that thought because in thought only Arjuna, he understood, he has seen, grandfather Vishnu there, how can he kill? He is very grateful for them. Now Krishna is trying to remove that attachment also. The family attachment. Hare Krishna. Wanted to remove that. Dear devotees, at the fag end of one's life, when a person is about to leave the body, he has to leave his wife, his children, his relatives, so many people. For example, during that death, there's so much pain because he's in separation. He doesn't want to leave his family. You know how difficult that is? Cannot imagine. It's very difficult. It's a fag end of the life. Person is about to leave the body, and then he has so many attachments. His wife, and then he's thinking about his wife. Oh, what's going to happen to my wife? She's always with me. She doesn't know anything of this world. But what's going to happen to my children? They're very young now. They are not yet developed. They're not yet settled in their life. What's going to happen to them? Who will take care of them? All these things will come at the time of death. Because there's so much attachment. So addressing the attachment at the time of death is correct, or addressing the attachment now? Which one is correct? What do you think? Addressing now is correct? It has to be addressed now. There's no other way. Very important. Because if it is addressed now, then it is correct. That is what Krishna is doing. He's trying to address Arjuna here at this moment. Likewise, dear devotees, those attachments, it has to be addressed now. Please understand. अभी address करना है. These attachments which we have, it has to be addressed now. अभी करना है. Not tomorrow or at the time of death. No. There's a story. There are 3 fishes. The first fish is very proactive. The fish which is proactive, it sensed that the water, the pond in which they are, will dry up soon. Because the pond is losing the connection from the bigger repository. Something like that. Or the area in which they are is kind of drying up. Okay. So the first fish, she understood that there's a problem. If I stay here for a few days, then the fisherman will come and then he'll kill us off. She realized that, and then she tells the other two fishes, the three are friends. Both the other two fishes, they're joking, they're laughing. What do you think? What do you think is gonna dry up? It doesn't gonna dry up. It's great. We are in a great place. You're simply predicting. That's not true. And then the first fish left to a bigger place. She was safe. And then, as per the words of the first fish, the fisherman came to take away all the fishes. They're slowly drying up. They're taking away the fishes. And then the second fish, it was little intelligent. At the last moment, she kind of sneaks away from that. She is intelligent. She's thinking, that means there's a problem. Trying to fix the problem and then move forward. But that is very risky. We can leave the body also. Somehow she was saved. But that is not a right propaganda. One can leave the body also. Okay, that's that. And then the last fish didn't know what to do. Simply, she left the body. She was died. So, why am I telling this is, in Arjuna's case, Arjuna, through that attachment, he was unable to do the service. Now, Krishna here is not telling Arjuna to do the service, to fight, but rather he's teaching Arjuna. Because Arjuna accepted that. Later on, Arjuna would come to a state of acceptance. And then through that, he is making immense progress. So likewise, dear devotees, when our attachments are addressed now, then that's good. We don't have to repeat at the time of death. We don't have to repent. Because please understand this, whatever attachments we have today, that is attachment which we will carry at the time of death. That means whatever state of consciousness we have, or we practice, or we follow, we get that only at the time of death. That is the only way. So, correcting or addressing those attachments today is the greatest hope and shelter for us. Hare Krishna. That is the way. And that is the only process. Slowly, when we become more steady in the process, then at every moment we see that only. That what? Becoming free from these things and then practicing in the process and then doing our little small services, doing Shravana Kirtana, and then as much as possible, I know you're all elderly, as much as possible, try to chant more and more. But we have availability. If we have some time, we need to chant extra rounds. It's important. Because when we do this, the Lord is immensely pleased. Immensely pleased. Yeah. These things have to be addressed. Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada says here, right? And we'll conclude. Prabhupada says here, when those 6 problems are there in one's life, then those people have to be killed immediately. That is a real justice. Why? The real justice is actually the real justice is what? The real justice is actually to make that person free from that. Because the person who has actually committed sinful activities, if he is killed, then his sinful activities to his killing is nullified. That means the king is actually protecting the person who has committed that sinful activity. Likewise, here Arjuna is actually protecting them by killing them. Because if you actually see, all of them received liberation because they all left in front of the Lord. They all received liberation as per the relationship with the Lord. If they do not have a relationship, obviously they will be liberated to the impersonal Brahmajyoti. But obviously they are all on the opposite side. They received that destination. Hare Krishna. So this we need to understand. The more we become free from these attachments, the more we get connected to the Lord. Because Arjuna was also with attachments. He was not free at this state. But later on in the chapter, in the next chapter, he submits himself to the Lord. Karpanya dosha apahata swabhava shishyashyaham sadimam tvam prapannam. That is there. So, through that, what is happening, dear devotees, is Arjuna was able to agree that he has attachments. This is a great thing, dear devotees. Agreeing to that. When that is manifested, we make a lot of progress. Because after that only devotion begins. Hare Krishna. So our struggle is that we should come to that state more and more. When we are deepened more and more, then we will do that. Very important. Hare Krishna. I'd like to stop here. Anyone has any questions? Would like to add anything? Any comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji. This is Geeta. Thank you for this wonderful class and such an important topic of detachment.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My question is, Prabhuji, we know, that detachment is very important for our liberation and all, but when it really comes to the crux, we need to, understand, like, with examples, what to do at the time, like in relationships, especially with the close family. How do you practice detachment and yet, you know be doing everything with detachment, with love, but detachment? That is the we know it, but in practice one doesn't really it's difficult to understand how to implement it. That is the key thing, Prabhuji. If you don't mind just explaining a little bit.
Actually, detachment only comes when we have attachment. So rather than focusing on the detachment, we should focus on the attachment. What is attachment? Attachment is attachment to Guru and attachment to Krishna. Attachment to the spiritual master and attachment to Krishna. When that is there, that is a real detachment. For example, detaching oneself in this world and then remain aloof. That's not an easy program. That's not an easy process. It's difficult, detaching oneself. But attaching to someone is not that difficult. It's easier than detachment. Because in detachment, we are trying to detach. Even attachment also can be done like that we want to attach. But we are not discussing these two things. Just like Arjuna, he was detached here. And then through the detachment, now how the detachment came? What is the detachment here? He has attachment. That's why he wants to detach from the war. And he's thinking that that is a noble, that is a good thing. Why? Because he is detaching. From where? From the battlefield. But that detachment is not the detachment which Krishna wanted him to do. So, dear devotees, if we have a relationship with one spiritual master, then what he says is, you do this. This is good for you. The moment we begin doing that, that itself is attachment actually, which removes from the detachment. For sure, because that is the real attachment actually. Because what are we doing? We are simply abiding to the instructions of our spiritual master. That's the glory. When we do that, then we develop attachment to them. And the moment we develop attachment to them, the detachment will come. Which is detaching from this world. We are there with family only, but we are not with the family. How is that? Staying and not staying. We are there with them to please Krishna. Yes, because, and on the other side, we are not there with them. The moment we are not with Krishna, we are there with them. The moment we are with Krishna, we are not there with them. That means, for the pleasure of the Lord, we are serving them. That's not. Because what are we doing? We are attaching to someone else. But we are with the family only. That doesn't mean that we'll be against to them. No. They are our family. Definitely they are our family. But we need to realize that family has been given to us by Krishna. And if acharyas didn't come into our life, then we would never understand that, oh, I should come to this place, or I should do this, or I should take the association of devotee. We would never understand that. Hare Krishna. Am I making sense of my Gita Ma?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji, very much. It's like walking towards south, you automatically moved away from north. So, very good.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else? It's a very simple science. You need to realize the family, the husband, the wife, the children, it's all being given to us by Krishna. Because before we met our husband, or before we met our wife, they were existing. They were taking care of themselves. It looks like Krishna is taking care of them. After marriage also, we kind of think that we are taking care of them, but no, technically Lord is taking care of them. The moment we understand that, we turn towards the Lord. Just like Arjuna understood. He understood Baba. Arjuna understood that I have a problem, I need to turn towards the Lord for a solution. Likewise, when we turn towards the Lord, because that doesn't mean that only we turn towards the Lord only when there are difficulties. No. We are always with the Lord. We should be always with the Lord. We should be always with His pure devotees. When we are that, then the process becomes soothing to the heart. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else? Otherwise, we'll end it here. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectar class.
Hare Krishna.
And you explained very nicely. I like that point that about Gita Mataji's answer, that instead of doing detachment, we should increase our attachment to Krishna. So that will be very easy for us. Thank you so much explaining so nicely, Prabhuji. So,
Hare Krishna.
if anybody has any question or comment, we can end up the call here.
All right.
पंचाकल्पतरुश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, नमः
जय
ठाकुर की जय,
जय
की जय, ग्रंथराज
जय
की जय, भगवद गीता की जय,
जय
गोविंद प्रभु की जय। थैंक यू सो
श्रील
मच।
प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय।
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hari
Prabhuji.
Bol, Hari
Thank you.
Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.